Alrighty, YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video. So, Adam Peters is now a finalist for the Washington Commanders head football of operations job and/or GM job, I guess you could say. Now, this is interesting in a number of ways because the Commanders have not yet fired Martin Mayhew. He still is the general manager for the Washington Commanders. Now, what's interesting about this whole entire thing is just a couple years ago, Martin Mayhew was a personnel executive for the 49ers, and he was with the 49ers for 3 full years before taking the job with the Commanders in 2021 as their GM. So really what this kind of means is for the Commanders, it's being reported as well that both of the finalists, Ian Cunningham from the Bears and Adam Peters from the Niners, those guys are both finalists for this job. So what's interesting is both Ian Cunningham and Adam Peters have told other teams that they are not interested. Now they are both in the running for the Washington job. Adam Peters likely is the favorite, but they are both in on it, of course. You know, they both want this job in D.C., And that's kind of what we have up until this point. So, obviously, a couple days ago, I said that, you know, Adam Peters leaving is pretty much all but done after this year. He's at a point in time where he can very well lead his team or lead a team. And I think this year there's going to be no other year better to do it than probably right now. There's so many head coaches being dismissed now. Pete Carroll, you know, Bill Belichick. In the last 24 hours, the football world's been mind-blowing. Bill Belichick, you know, Pete Carroll, Nick Saban for Bama, you know, he retires. Not only that, but just sticking in the NFL. Mike Vrabel was dismissed. You know, the Chargers' job is open. The Raiders' job is pretty much open, even though they're expected to bring back Antonio Pierce. Carolina's, you know, that's going to be another job that's going to be up for grab. There is a lot of teams out there that need to fill GM roles and that need to fill head coaching roles. And right now, I think this year, there's no other better time than, you know, top executives looking for promotions elsewhere to go out and get it. And I think that's exactly what Adam Peters is doing here. What's interesting, though, is Martin Mayhew and, again, he hasn't been fired yet, but Martin Mayhew came from the Niners, and the Commanders are looking to hire another former 49ers, or I guess another 49ers executive in Adam Peters as their GM job. So, again, Martin Mayhew has not been fired, even though Ron Rivera has. Martin Mayhew and Adam Peters both know each other. They're familiar with each other. They work together with the 49ers. So it almost could be a thing where when the 49ers hired John Lynch, they brought in Adam Peters to kind of help out, in a way, John Lynch with the GM role. It could almost be a thing where Washington keeps Martin Mayhew because these two guys are familiar with each other, and they kind of work together as, like, co-GMs. And I guess you could say Adam Peters could come in and he could help Martin Mayhew. I don't know if that's the approach Washington's taking. This thing's kind of all this stuff's pretty interesting, what's kind of going on here. But all we know for now is that Adam Peters is a lead finalist, or I guess a lot of people are regarding him as the favorite to become Washington's head football of operations. Again, I don't know if Martin Mayhew is going to be fired. Again, they only fired Ron Rivera, their head coach, but it could be a thing, like I said, where Adam Peters comes in and helps Martin Mayhew, or Martin Mayhew is simply just dismissed, and Adam Peters then takes over the lead GM role, which it's also kind of interesting for Adam Peters, because you would think that he would want to go to a team that needs a general manager to kind of take on that role himself. But with the Commanders not firing Martin Mayhew yet, it almost seems like there could be a duo that they want there, you know, leading football operations. Even if Martin Mayhew stays, Adam Peters' role is to help him develop these players, scout. I mean, those are all things that GMs do is pretty much all things that head football of operations do. When it comes down to it, it seems like to me the GMs just have the final say in those type of things. So we'll see what happens, but he is a lead candidate to land in Washington. Commanders could still, again, part ways with Martin Mayhew. Obviously, when it comes to Adam Peters, he's currently the assistant GM of the Niners. He may get more money with Washington. There could be a lot of factors going into if the Commanders end up hiring him. But as of now, all we know is that he is a lead candidate and finalist for the Washington head football of operations role. So obviously I'll continue to keep you guys in the loop. Don't know still what's going on with Martin Mayhew. It seems to me that they're kind of torn on that decision to either fire him or to keep him, or they're really wanting Adam Peters to come in here and help him out. But there's also people saying that Martin Mayhew and the majority of the front office believe that he will be fired. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here with the Commanders. Don't really care. All I care about is Adam Peters leaving or staying in with the Niners. And again, I just think this there's no other better year for Adam Peters to leave than now. He's been ready to kind of lead a team on his own for some time now, and it seems like he's interested in this Washington job. It was also reported, too, that this interview with the Commanders went on for hours. It went all the way into the evening. They talked about a lot, of course, hence to why that interview was so long. So Washington's interested without a doubt. It seems like Adam Peters is also interested, but obviously we'll see what happens from here on out. Obviously don't know what's going to happen with Martin Mayhew either. So if news breaks on Adam Peters, of course, leaving, you guys will hear from me first. But when it comes to all of these, guys potentially being hired, like, this is not going to take place until after the season. Like, we are still very early. We haven't even hit the offseason yet. We're still in January. Playoffs haven't even started. So these are all very new things going on in the NFL. But I wouldn't expect any move to happen with Adam Peters leaving until after the season, if he does leave, of course. But again, I think all signs point to Adam Peters leaving. So, of course, I'll keep you guys in the loop and let you know what's going on here. But 49ers assistant GM Adam Peters is now a lead finalist for the Washington job. So we'll see what happens with it, of course. But as always, go Niners. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But yeah, as always, go Niners. I'll see you guys in the next one.